Okay, let's go with part 2 of my gameplay of a game I created called Something Scary Scrambles Our School. Let's have a look at the messy art room based on the art classroom. See.
One of our friendly monsters, Frill here, is having trouble with his art project. He's not really good at painting and he needs to get better grades if he wants to proceed further. Can you help him paint 5 masterpieces?
I apologize if my voice grated any of your ears. I was just a stupid 18-year-old still in school guy. Now, it says here which item is used in the art room. The bezel brush, sweeping brush, or the paintbrush. You probably know this one. Oh yeah, I was supposed to have that was a bit of a jump. He's supposed to at that point he was supposed to turn around to see. I haven't worked out the other ways where he turns around. See, who's the head of the art? Mr. Rooney, Mr. Ellis, or Mr. Art? You don't know him, but he was a Bemrose teacher of mine. And by the way, that is the Mona Lisa, and that is the Scream by Edvard Munch and Leonardo da Vinci. Where's the art? See, DT block, main school, football field. It was in the DT block in Bemrose. I remember that. It wasn't part of the main part of school. The American Gothic. When did the animation course start at Bemrose School? It was 2011. That was when I began it. That was when I did the stop motion alligator thing. You can look it up online. It's called Fish Out the Gator for Later. See, and as the dogs playing polka, I was running out of tall paintings rather than wide ones. So, which is the common type of art used for the art too? Traditional art, of course. And finally, you probably don't know this one, but that was The Sleeping Gypsy by Henry Russo. Okay, that's the gameplay of the messy art room. And next up is the Dragon Hall. It's based on the actual school hall where we do our assemblies. And let's have a look at the dragon.
We made a model of this dragon for our school play in the hall, but the wizard cast a spell on it, bringing it to life. He won't let us perform. When you defeat the wizard, the magic will wear off for the dragon, but for now we need to put this guy to sleep.
So all you gotta do is put the dragon to sleep. And in order to do that, you gotta answer the questions. Yeah, pretty much everything in this game is about solving a question and everything is answered. What happens to the hall? Assemblies, paintballs, or discos? I was kind of open for discos, but assemblies will have to be done. And then the dragon, you can see the eyes are getting a bit tired. What? Every year, fire real suspicious say the Simpsons. I wish. Talent shows shown in the hall. True or false? It's true. Now he's getting really tight. You can see his eyes. Lessons are taken in the hall. True or false? Yeah, they're true. Here's a bit of a pillow. That was a bit of a crane. All houses are assemblies together. False. No, not all houses are assembly together. I mean, there were. I don't remember what the names of our school houses were. There was Chatsworth, which I was a part of. There was Haddon, Hedwig, was it? And the fourth one I can't remember. But when I was in Malaysia, the school, it was called ELC International School. I was part of the Red Rhinos concept. That probably explains my fascination for rhinoceroses. And there was also the Yellow Eagles, Blue Hawks, and Green Gators. I was kind of having a question. Why did we choose the Hawks? My sister used to be a part of the Blue Hawks. So are the assemblies assembled together? No. And the dragon finally sleeps, a blanket is placed over, and I get another tea gem. The caging room, which is based on humanities and history.
a detention in the humanities room. These teachers are all caged up, while the others on the floor, well, it's a long story. The wizard is thinking about giving these guys a public execution. This reminds me of those middle-aged laws I learned about. Can you free these guys before the baddie monsters play hangman with them?
Okay, so all I gotta do is answer the questions to save the teachers from either having their heads preached or decapitated. So the subject is taught. What are the subjects taught in humanities? There's history, science, and math, but history is the most logical one. And I freed a lizard teacher. What is humanities' main focus subject? History, geography, or religion? Now, keep in mind, fellas, I'm not really a religious guy, but I can understand the appeal. Call me agnostic. I have not much of a belief, nor do I have much of a disbelief. I can see why people like to go for Christianity, Judaism. Keep in mind, fellas, Malaysia is in fact a Muslim country. I know what you're thinking, but BRR, Muslims are terrorists and stuff like that. That is not true. Not all Muslims are terrorists, but the terrorists from that part of most of those terrorists are Muslim. Saying that Islam is nothing but a terrorist religion is like saying Christianity is nothing but an anti-dinosaur religion. And Judaism is nothing but an anti-Christmas religion, and a Jehovah's Witness is nothing but a grumpy religion. None of which is true, except maybe the last one, but I digress. Anyways, let's put on religion. I freed an elephant teacher. Which other lesson is related to humanities? PRE. I forgot what PRE stood for, but it was also about religion. I remember watching the Schindler's List at those lessons. We were also doing something about the charities. My idea was WWF. Some of them did Children in Need, and another did Rainbow's Hospice. The teachers only showed one, and the Rainbow's Hospice one. And immediately everybody else voted for that. I was like, why didn't you give them other options? Why do we have to choose Rainbow Hospice as the only one? And what if Children in Need does it a lot better than Rainbow's Hospice? And what about WWF? I mean, we ought to save the rainforest and the rhinos from having their horns cut off due to medicine. Never mind, let's just put on PRE. Fear the Bird. Animal rights have been taught in humanities. True. Okay, I've explained that a bit for yesterday, so let's go with that. Free the monkey, and he realizes that he's on thin air. How many humanities rooms are there? I can't really remember, but I remember being in 2 classes, and I managed to free a bat. Wasn't a teacher, just a bat. And there's the munching canteen. The munching canteen is basically based on the cafeteria, and that was it was a block that was separate from the school.
Man, that greedy bully. He's been eating all our school lunches and even our packed lunches. He's not letting anyone have a single crumb of it. Do you try and shrink his belly back to normal size?
Okay, so there's a greedy monster who's been eating this stuff. Yeah, so all I gotta do is answer the questions so I can shrink his belly. Which of these drinks is not sold in the canteen? And nobody drinks Coca-Cola in the cafeteria. They can bring it to school, but they cannot get it from school. And he suddenly shrinks a little. Which day is the week is fish and chips serves? Usually on a Friday. Yeah, it does serve on a Friday a lot. There are about 3 different types of fish and chips I remember served at the cafeteria. There was the breaded fish, the parsley fish and chips, which is like a battered cod, and there's the fish cakes. Oh, jolly old fish and chips, my absolute favorite. Name me yours. Occasionally, we would have fried chicken strips. saying, what time do years 7, 9, and 11 get to? Yeah, here's an odd thing. During lunchtime, not everyone goes to the lunchroom. Only a certain group of them do. It was the year 7s, 9, and 11 who have their lunch first. It was like before period. So I'm not too sure what the period is, but they do go to lunch before years 8 and 10, leaving the year 8s and 10s stomachs empty for another hour. What type of food is not served in the canteen? Pizza, sandwiches, McDonald's. Yeah, they do serve pizza, the one that doesn't have any toppings, and they do serve sandwiches. You know that this would not ever be included in school cafeterias. Does it for yours? I don't know. What other time is served in the cafeteria? Break time, during lessons, after school. I never go with the break time one. I used to do so back in ELC, but never in Bemrose. But I do see foods there. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. And why is he being generous to this guy who was just being greedy? I have created so many plot holes in this game. Next up is the Mutant Science Lab. Now, this one was a favorite of mine. I mean, look at this.
Our school puts in no mutant freaks. Darn that wizard. There is a cure for each of them, however. There are these potions that our friendly monsters have made. They work perfectly, but the pets have eaten the students before a single drop could even pour on them. It's up to you to cure them now. I ain't going anywhere near those creeps.
Okay, so basically, the pets have been mutated. So I gotta answer these science-related questions to cure them. And let's start with what's the diagram of? It's a beaker. And I have cured the dog, which is the diagram of the tube. And I cured the cat, which is following is not included as the part of the science, biology, chemistry, history. Actually, I was kind of wrong on that. There was a bit of history, prehistory. There was some explanation of the dinosaurs. And the lizard. How many science rules are there in the school? Yeah, this one, I'm not too sure how many there are now, but I managed to do a lot of counting. I've been to all of them. And yet the spider. What's not used in the science center? Tripod, and paintbrush. And I cured the snake. The pets have been cured, and I get another key gem. That was a fun design I had with that one, but the rest wasn't so much. And we come to the very last game, the Lazy Room, based on a regular classroom.
Oh no, look at these guys. They're all sleeping like hippos during daytime. Our teachers are too frightened to even teach them. So then, the students make them as their butlers. We can't have that, can we? Can you turn these guys from lazy dunces to hard-working brainiacs?
I just love that joke. What is the most common rule of any classroom? To be quiet. Yeah, I didn't follow this rule too well. When is break time? 8:30, 10:30. Yeah, this one is by school standard back in Bemrose. It's only 20 minutes. And each hour ends at a 10:50 for every lesson. And sometimes at every 10. They always go for an odd number rather than an even number, or every 30 minutes or something like that. Kind of like television. Does your channel program usually start at 8 or 8:30 or 9 or 9:30 or something like that? Okay. He stopped drooling, he starts reading, and he starts writing. Students misbehave when they go to isolation. Thankfully, I've never been in isolation. I did go into detention once. I accidentally did something. I do not want to talk about it. Yeah, he's doing the calculator. Back then, I had no idea what an iPad is, so that was a calculator, not an iPad. What is another day of missing episode? It's called